add a name to the Snowflake Ornament file. So I've opened up the, let's see here, I think this is the 4-inch size. Yes, the 4-inch size in an Illustrator document. I'm going to come over and click on text and just type somewhere. I'm going to use the name Samantha just because it just came to mind, and I'm using a Julietta regular font. Now you can use any script font. As long as all of the letters are connected, you should be just fine. I'm going to actually click type again. You'll notice that while there's a tail on the A that you can use to connect to the edge here, there's not one on the S. So the way that I want to add one is to go to type glyphs, and it'll open up the glyphs, and you can choose any of these that make you happy. I'm going to just select that one. I'm actually going to end up getting rid of most of that, but we just want the tail so that we'll be able to kind of connect it over here. All right, so come back up to your selection tool. You are going to right click on this, hit create outlines, and then you'll notice if we zoom in that your letters are, they have these little overlapping lines. We want to get rid of that so that the Glowforge doesn't cut that out. Come on over to Pathfinder, your Pathfinder panel, and click this one, which is Unite, and you'll see that those lines disappear and you're all good to go. Now this font can cut out pretty thin here, so I normally like to thicken it up just to make sure that there's no issue with durability of the finished ornament. So come on up with it selected, come on up to Object, Path, Offset Path, and I'm gonna do a positive 0.02. Let's see what I think of that. That's actually a little on the thick side, but you know what? We're gonna go with it. So now that we have our name, and you can do 0.01 if you'd prefer, just up to you. Come on over to the layers panel, click this little caret so it points downward, and you'll see that this new thicker layer is selected. We actually want to go in and click the thinner one and delete it, just so that it's out of the way and we're not getting double cuts. Okay, so now at this point, you can bring your name over to the ornament, and you'll see that it's maybe a little bigger than we want it to be. So I'm just gonna place it how I like it. I'm gonna hit select and then click and drag this. If you don't hit select, it'll distort your font. So just make sure that you are hitting shift before you click and drag. Okay. And just get the placement perfect. Don't worry about this little tail. We'll get rid of that in a second. All right, I think that looks nice. And then just play around with the placement in terms of the vertical as well as the horizontal. So I'm happy with this. I think that looks nice. So what I'm gonna do right now is click this ornament, copy it. So I do Command C on my Mac, and then I'm actually gonna just delete it. Take note before you do that of how much of this tail needs to be taken away. Okay, so delete. I'm gonna come over to my eraser tool. It's entirely possible that there are easier ways to do this, so feel free. But this is what I know to do. I'm just gonna delete all of that. All right, now I'm gonna go to Edit, Paste in Place. And we actually see that I took away a little too much, but we can make that work. So I'm gonna hit my selection tool again. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna make this a slight bit bigger just to make sure that it's overlapping. Okay, and I'm even gonna zoom in to be extra sure. And yep, I'm gonna just make it a little bit bigger. I don't want any questions about whether it will overlap fully. Okay, cool. So now at this point you can select both of these. So just click and drag to select, come on over to Pathfinder, hit Unite again, and you are good to go. Now, it's possible that when you hit Unite, it'll look like this. In that case, you want to just make sure that you're switching it out. You want strokes for the Glowforge, not fills. And now here you are. You've got your, you have your name ornament customized. Let me know if you have any questions.